Look, I'm not the kind of guy who believes in ghosts or any of that supernatural crap. I'm just a regular middle-aged dude, pushing 45, stuck in a marriage that's been circling the drain for years. My wife, Karen. Yeah, that's her name, and no, she's not one of those meme Karens, but damn, she can argue like one. We've been together since college, but lately, every little thing sets us off. Money, chores, what to watch on TV. It's exhausting. I know it sounds cliche, but I love her, or at least I think I do. Maybe it's just habit at this point. Anyway, this all started a few weeks ago after another blowout fight. I can't even remember what it was about. Probably something stupid like who forgot to take out the trash or why I didn't notice her new haircut. Whatever it was, it escalated fast like they always do. She was yelling, I was yelling back, and before I knew it, I grabbed my keys and stormed out the door. It's become my go-to move when things get too heated. Usually, I drive to the nearest motel, crash for the night, and come back the next day with my tail between my legs. But this time, I didn't want her tracking me down. She's done that before, calling around, showing up with that mix of anger and tears. No, I needed real space. That's when I thought of the property. I bought this chunk of land about 5 years back, out in the middle of nowhere. It was dirt cheap because the old owner kicked the bucket, and his kids just wanted it off their hands. From what I gathered, it used to be some kind of private shooting range back in the day, nothing fancy, just a spot for locals to practice. There's this big, ugly concrete building on it like a bunker or something. Downstairs are these wide, empty warehouse rooms with high ceilings and cold floors. Upstairs is what looks like an old office area, with a couple of desks and filing cabinets gathering dust. The whole place is maybe the size of a small warehouse, but it's got that abandoned feel, you know? Weeds cracking through the parking lot, paint peeling off the walls. I've been meaning to fix it up, turn it into a man cave or maybe rent it out, but life gets in the way. It's about a 20-minute drive from home, down these winding country roads that get emptier the further you go. No neighbors for miles, just fields and trees. Perfect for disappearing. So, I hopped in my truck, cranked up some old rock on the radio to drown out my thoughts, and headed out. It was already getting dark, and I noticed these heavy clouds rolling in from the west. Looked like a storm was brewing, but I didn't care. Anything to get away from the shouting. By the time I turned onto the gravel road leading to the property, the first rumbles of thunder were echoing in the distance. I parked in the overgrown lot, the headlights cutting through the gathering gloom, and killed the engine. Rain started pattering on the windshield, soft at first, like fingers tapping. I sat there for a minute, just breathing, letting the anger drain out of me. Looking back, I should have checked the weather app or something. But nah, I was too wrapped up in my own head. I keep a spare key hidden behind a loose piece of siding near the door, old habit from when I first bought the place. Fumbled around in the dim light, found it, and let myself in. The door creaked open with that familiar groan, and I flipped on the single bulb in the entryway. The place smelled like it always does. Musty concrete, a hint of rust, maybe some old gunpowder from way back. I locked the door behind me, force of habit, and headed upstairs to the office. There's a cot up there, nothing fancy, but it's got a blanket and a pillow I stashed for emergencies like this. I kicked off my shoes, lay down, and stared at the ceiling. The storm was picking up outside, rain hammering the metal roof like someone dumping buckets of gravel up there. It was loud, but in a weird way comforting, like white noise blocking out the world. No phone calls, no texts from Karen blowing up my phone. Just me and the thunder. I actually started to relax for the first time in weeks. My eyelids got heavy, and I felt myself drifting off. But nice things never last, do they? I was right on the edge of sleep when, crash, the sound of shattering glass cut through the storm like a knife. My eyes snapped open, heart pounding in my chest. What the hell was that? I lay there frozen for a second, listening. The rain was still thundering on the roof, but that smash was unmistakable. Glass breaking somewhere downstairs. I sat up slowly, ears straining. Was it the wind? A branch hitting a window? Or someone? Nah, couldn't be. The place is in the middle of nowhere. Who'd be out here in this weather? I swung my legs off the cot, my bare feet hitting the cold floor. That's when I remembered the rifle. I keep a hunting rifle stashed in one of the upstairs closets. Nothing fancy, just an old .308 for deer season. Karen doesn't know about it. She'd flip if she did. Thinks guns are for rednecks or something. I grabbed it quietly, checked the chamber loaded, good, and crept to the top of the stairs. The light from the entryway bulb barely reached up here, casting long shadows on the walls. Thunder boomed outside, shaking the building a little. I listened again, over the rain's roar. Nothing. Complete silence down there except for the storm. My mind raced. Maybe it was just the storm. These old windows are boarded up in places, but some are exposed. Could have been hail or a rock kicked up by the wind. But deep down, I wasn't buying it. I should have called someone right then, Karen, the cops, anybody. But no signal out here half the time, and honestly, I didn't want to deal with explaining why I was hiding in this dump. So, I started down the stairs, rifle at the ready, steps creaking under my weight. The air felt colder down here, damper. I hit the bottom and paused, sweeping the barrel around the dark corners. "Hello," I called out, my voice sounding small and stupid in the empty space. No answer, of course. I flipped on more lights, thank God the power was still on, and started checking room by room. The warehouse areas are big, echoey, with high shelves covered in dust and old crates. Nothing looked out of place at first. Then I got to the back room. There it was. One of the boarded-up windows had a fresh hole punched through the glass, shards scattered on the concrete floor like diamonds. Rain was spitting in through the gap, pooling on the sill. I knelt down, careful not to cut myself, and inspected it. The hole was maybe the size of a softball, too small for anyone to climb through. No footprints in the dust, no signs of tampering from inside. Outside, I cracked the door and shone my phone flashlight into the storm. Nothing but sheets of rain and mud. Vandals, maybe? Kids throwing rocks for fun? But who the hell would be out here now? I found some cardboard in another room, taped it over the hole as best I could, and headed back upstairs. My hands were shaking a little as I set the rifle down next to the cot. Paranoia was setting in. I told myself it was nothing, storm damage, that's all. Lay back down, tried to focus on the rain's rhythm. But sleep? Yeah, right. Every gust of wind made me jump. An hour ticked by, maybe more. I was just starting to doze again when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, like someone pacing downstairs. Thud, thud. Pause. Over the rain? Hard to tell, but it didn't sound like creaking beams or water dripping. It sounded human. I bolted upright, grabbing the rifle again. My mouth went dry. This is bullshit, I muttered to myself. Looking back, I should have barricaded the door or something. But no, Mr. Tough Guy here decided to investigate. I crept to the stairs, listening. The footsteps stopped. Coincidence? Or did they hear me? I waited, sweat trickling down my back despite the chill. 5 minutes, 10, nothing. Finally, I went down, rifle shouldered, flipping lights as I went. Searched every inch again. Closets, behind shelves, under tables. Zilch. Doors still locked from inside, no new breaks. The cardboard patch was holding. I stood in the middle of the main room, rifle lowering, feeling like an idiot. "You're losing it, man," I said out loud. The storm was messing with my head, the roof amplifying every little noise, turning drips into steps. Yeah, that had to be it. I headed back up, rifle still close, and tried to laugh it off. But that knot in my stomach? It wasn't going away. I don't know how long I lay there after that, staring at the ceiling, rifle across my chest like some paranoid soldier. The rain hadn't let up. If anything, it was worse, wind howling around the building like a beast trying to get in. Thunder cracked every few minutes, lighting up the room through the small upstairs window. I kept telling myself to relax, that it was all in my head. Marriage stress, that's what it was, making me jump at shadows. But then, scrape. A long, heavy drag, like furniture being pulled across the concrete floor downstairs. Not wind, not rain, no way. That was deliberate, solid. My blood ran cold. I sat up so fast the cot creaked. "What the fuck?" I whispered. This time, anger bubbled up over the fear. Who the hell was screwing with me? Some squatter hiding out? Or worse? I grabbed the rifle, chambered around, click, and stormed down the stairs, not even trying to be quiet. Flipped on all the lights, yelling as I went. "Hey, I know you're down here. Come out, you son of a bitch. I'm armed, and I will shoot." My voice echoed off the walls, bouncing back at me. I burst into the main room, sweeping the rifle around. Empty. Checked the back. Nothing moved. No scratches on the floor. The cardboard was intact. "This isn't funny," I shouted, voice cracking a bit. Silence. Just the rain pounding, thunder rumbling like laughter. I stood there, breathing hard, rifle shaking in my hands. Why didn't I call the cops? The place isn't exactly legal, wiring's shot, no permits for half the stuff. Last thing I need is fines or worse. But standing in that empty room, yelling at nothing, something changed. It wasn't gradual. It hit like a wave. This icy dread washed over me, from my toes to my scalp. Every hair stood on end. It wasn't just fear, it was primal, like my body knew something my brain didn't. Get out. Now, I can't explain it. One second I was pissed, the next I was terrified, like the air itself had turned hostile. Was there a smell? A shadow I missed? Or just my mind cracking under the isolation? I didn't wait to find out. Grabbed my stuff upstairs in a frenzy, keys, phone, jacket. Hid the rifle back in the closet. Turned off the lights and bolted for the door. The storm was raging outside. Wind whipping rain sideways. Lightning flashing like strobes. I locked up, sprinted to the truck, fumbling the keys in the mud. Engine roared to life and I peeled out, gravel flying. The drive home was a blur, wipers on max, hydroplaning on flooded roads. Thunder boomed like it was chasing me. I kept glancing in the rear view, half expecting headlights or something else. When I got home, Karen was asleep. I didn't wake her, didn't want the questions. Just collapsed on the couch, rifle-less and shaking. That was weeks ago, and I haven't been back. I tell myself I'll go soon, install cameras, figure it out. Was it a person hiding in some crawl space I missed? Or am I going nuts, hearing things that aren't there? But there's this third thought I push down. What if it wasn't human? I know it sounds crazy, but that dread, it felt wrong, unnatural. Now every storm makes me jump. I hear scraping in the wind, footsteps in the rain. And I wonder if whatever was in that building followed me home. Or if it's still waiting out there, in the dark. Okay, so this all happened to me just a couple of weeks ago, and honestly, I'm still not sure what to make of it. I mean, I've always been the type to brush off weird stuff, tell myself it's just my imagination or some logical explanation, but this has me questioning everything. I'm a high school senior, living in this quiet suburb on the edge of town. It's not exactly the middle of nowhere, but it's got that vibe where nature takes over more than people do. Tall trees everywhere, squirrels chattering all day, deer wandering through backyards like they own the place. My house is right up against this small patch of woods. Nothing huge, maybe a quarter-mile deep before it spits you out onto a back road. That road curves up and connects to another street, and on the other side, this massive body of water that's been a mystery to me and my siblings since we were kids. We used to make up all sorts of stories about it. You know, like it was a secret government lab or a haunted lake where people disappeared. There are these big, no trespassing signs plastered all over the chain link fence that surrounds it, topped with barbed wire like it's guarding Fort Knox. Government property, they say, so we figured it was a reservoir or something official. But here's the thing that always bugged me. It's not on any maps. I've searched Google Maps, Apple Maps, even those old paper ones my dad keeps in the garage, nothing. No name, no label, just a blank spot where the water should be. Looking back, I should have dug deeper into that years ago. But as a kid, it was just fun speculation. Now, feels like a red flag I ignored. Anyway, I'm on the varsity cross-country team at school, so running is basically my life. I've got this perfect 2-mile loop I do almost every day. Cut through the woods behind my house, pop out onto that back road by the water, loop around, and head home. It's way better than jogging in the neighborhood. Those streets are twisty, no sidewalks, and people drive like maniacs. Poor visibility means you're one blind curve away from becoming roadkill. Plus, the woods are peaceful. Quiet trails, fresh air, the occasional bird or rustle of leaves. With the season ramping up, I'd been pushing myself harder lately, adding extra miles to build stamina. That day, man, it started so normal. Sunny afternoon, birds chirping, me lacing up my sneakers and heading out like always. I hit the trail, feeling good, music blasting in my earbuds. About halfway back through the woods, though, I heard this rustling behind me. Not the usual squirrel scampering, more like something bigger brushing through the undergrowth. I glanced over my shoulder, but nothing, just trees and shadows. I shook it off. Probably a deer or a fox, right? Happens all the time out there. Finished my run, grabbed a shower, ate dinner with the family. Mom made her famous spaghetti. Dad cracked his dumb jokes. My little sister complained about homework. Totally ordinary. As night fell, though, the sky turned ugly. Dark clouds rolled in fast, and before I knew it, a massive thunderstorm hit. Lightning cracking like fireworks, thunder booming so loud it rattled the windows. I love storms like that, always have. There's something calming about the rain pounding on the roof, the world outside turning into this chaotic symphony while you're safe inside. My bedroom's on the ground floor, facing the woods, and in summer, I sleep with the window cracked open. The fresh air, the sounds of nature, it helps me unwind. That night, I lay there listening to the downpour, drifting off slowly. The rain was hypnotic, lulling me into that half-asleep state. But then, something cut through it. A soft sound, almost like whimpering or sobbing. At first, I thought it was the wind or maybe a branch scraping the house. But it didn't stop. It got clearer, more rhythmic, like someone crying. And the more I focused, the more it sounded human. Coming from right outside my window, just below the sill. I sat up, heart starting to pick up. "Hello," I whispered, but the storm drowned it out. Then, clear as day, a voice, a woman's voice, pierced the rain. "Can you help me? I'm cold." I froze. Every hair on my arms stood up. It wasn't muffled or distant. It was right there, pleading, desperate. I know it sounds crazy, but in that moment, my brain went straight to, someone needs help. Not fear, not yet, just instinct. I bolted out of bed, grabbed my phone for the flashlight, and ran to the front door. Didn't even think to wake anyone. The rain hit me like a wall as I sprinted around the side of the house, soaked to the bone in seconds, my feet slipping on the wet grass. Turning the corner, there she was, crouched right under my window, huddled against the wall like she was trying to squeeze under the tiny overhang for shelter. She was wearing something white, a dress or nightgown, maybe, plastered to her skin from the rain. Her hair was dark, matted, hanging over her face. She looked small, vulnerable. "Hey, are you okay?" I called out, approaching slowly, my flashlight beam shaking in the downpour. "Do you need help?" She didn't respond at first. Then, suddenly, she lifted her head, and her eyes locked on mine. Even in the dark, I could see something off, wild, almost feral. Before I could say another word, she sprang up like a coiled spring. Not slow or weak like someone freezing in the rain. No, with this burst of energy that didn't make sense. She charged right at me, arms outstretched. I braced, thinking she was going to tackle me or something. But mid-run, she hesitated. Maybe she saw how tall I am, 6'2" from all that running, or maybe something else spooked her. Whatever it was, she veered off at the last second, darting past me toward the woods. Barefoot, slipping through the mud, she vanished into the trees faster than anyone should have been able to in that storm. I stood there, rain pounding my face, heart slamming in my chest. "Wait!" I yelled, but she was gone. Just gone. I didn't chase her. What was I gonna do? Run into the pitch-black woods during a thunderstorm? No way. I bolted back inside, dripping water everywhere, and woke my dad. "Dad, there's a woman outside." She was under my window, crying for help. He shot up, groggy but alert, and we checked the whole house together. Doors locked, windows secure. He was freaked too. His face went pale when I described her charging at me. We talked about calling the cops, but it was after midnight, storm raging. By the time they get here, she'll be long gone, he said. And searching those woods now? Suicide. Looking back, I should have insisted. But we rationalized it. Maybe a homeless person caught in the rain or someone having a breakdown. We double-checked everything and went back to bed. I lay there wide awake, replaying it, the adrenaline refusing to fade. The next morning, the storm had cleared, leaving everything muddy and fresh-smelling. Dad and I searched the yard, found footprints under my window, small ones, leading toward the woods, but no other signs. Life went back to normal, or at least we pretended it did. School, practice, homework. I told my friends a watered-down version, laughed it off like, crazy night, right? But inside, it nagged at me. Who was she? How'd she end up there? And why run at me like that? A week later, I forced myself back on my running route. Couldn't let one weird night ruin my training. The woods felt different, though. Every snap of a twig made me jump. As I hit the road by the water, I glanced through the fence like always. And there, holy crap, movement down by the shore. I stopped dead, peering closer. A woman, sitting with her feet in the water, white dress fluttering in the breeze. My blood ran cold. It was her. Same hair, same build. But how? That fence is 10 feet tall, barbed wire on top. No gates or holes I've ever seen. It's impossible to get in there. She must have sensed me because she turned, slowly, deliberately, and locked eyes. Even from a distance, I saw that smile. Not friendly, not normal. A wide, crazed grin that stretched too far, like something out of a nightmare. My stomach twisted. I yelled, "Hey, what are you doing?" But she just stood, still smiling, and waded deeper into the water. Then, without hesitation, she dove in, disappearing under the surface. I fumbled for my phone, dialing 911 with shaking hands. There's a woman in the restricted water. She looks unstable. The operator took my info, said they'd send someone. I waited, heart pounding, but she didn't resurface. Police showed up 20 minutes later, searched the fence line, even shone lights on the water. Nothing. No body, no signs. "You sure about this, kid?" One cop asked, skeptical. I nodded, but doubt crept in. Was I seeing things? They left, telling me to call if I saw her again. That night, the noises started. Not sobbing, just subtle movements outside my window. A shuffle of leaves, a soft thump like footsteps. Peek out, nothing. But it kept happening. Every night. I've stopped running that loop, sticking to the track at school. My sister and I scoured the fence for hours, no way in, no breaches. It's impossible. My cousin Nick, the conspiracy nut, swears the government's hiding something in that water, experiments, maybe, or worse. I laugh it off. But what if? I know it sounds crazy, but I still can't explain it. Was she real? A stalker who followed me from a run? Or something else, something tied to that unmapped water? My home doesn't feel safe anymore. Every creak, every shadow, I jump. And at night, when the wind picks up, I swear I hear her voice whispering through the trees. Questioning my sanity? Yeah, that's an understatement. If she comes back, I don't know what I'll do. Hey everyone. My name's Jason, and this is something that happened to me just a few weeks ago. 3 Fridays back, to be exact. I live out in this rural part of the Midwest, the kind of place where everything shuts down early, and if you want any real fun, you've got to drive at least half an hour to the next town over. It's all cornfields, winding back roads, and those endless stretches of nothing that feel peaceful during the day but get real creepy after dark. Looking back, I should have just stayed home that night, but hey, when you're young and bored, a house party sounds like the best idea ever. I know it sounds dumb now, but at the time, it was just another weekend escape from the monotony. I'm 22, working a dead-end job at a warehouse, and my buddy Leo's the same age, but he's the type who turns every outing into a spectacle. We've been friends since high school, the kind where we rag on each other constantly but always have each other's backs. That Friday, Leo hit me up about this party a couple towns away. Some guy's house? Nothing huge, just a backyard setup with beer pong, a fire pit, and a playlist blasting old hip-hop tracks. I agreed to go, mostly because sitting at home scrolling through my phone sounded worse. I volunteered to be the designated driver since I don't drink much anyway. One beer over a few hours is my limit. Leo, on the other hand, goes all in. By the time we rolled up around 9 p.m., the place was already buzzing with maybe 20 to 30 people, mostly locals in their early 20s, laughing and tossing ping-pong balls into cups. The air smelled like bonfire smoke and cheap beer, with that crisp fall chill starting to set in. I nursed my drink, chatting with a few folks about nothing important, work, the latest football game, small talk to kill time. Leo, true to form, got louder with every shot. He started off hyped, challenging everyone to beer pong, then shifted into his deep thoughts mode, rambling about life, the universe, and why pineapple on pizza is a crime against humanity. I laughed it off, but by midnight, he was slurring his words and flirting with some girl by the fire, telling her about his grand plans to start a podcast. I kept an eye on him, knowing I'd have to play babysitter eventually. Around 1 a.m., the party started winding down, people heading out, the music getting quieter. I finally pried Leo away, half dragging him to my old Honda Civic parked down the street. He was giggling like an idiot, muttering about how that girl was the one. I just rolled my eyes and buckled him in. Come on, man. Let's get you home before you puke in my car. As we pulled out, that's when the weather hit. What had been a light drizzle earlier turned into a full-on downpour. The rain hammered the windshield like bullets, and my wipers could barely keep up. Visibility dropped to maybe 30 feet ahead, those rural roads twisting through the darkness with no streetlights to guide you. Normally, I'd fly down these at 60 miles per hour, but I had to crawl at 30, gripping the wheel tight. The storm felt like it came out of nowhere. Thunder rumbling low, lightning flashing in the distance, turning the sky this angry purple for split seconds. Leo, in the passenger seat, was still chatty at first, complaining about my grandma driving. But then he started whining about needing to piss. Dude, I gotta go bad. Like now. I told him to hold it. We were only 15 minutes from home, but he kept at it, squirming like a kid. After another 5 minutes of his tantrum, I caved. Fine, whatever, but you're getting soaked. I spotted a pull-off on this desolate stretch of road, flanked by what I figured were cornfields, though in the pitch black and rain, it was hard to tell. No houses in sight, no other cars, just endless fields on both sides, the kind of nowhere that makes you feel small. I eased the car onto the gravel shoulder, headlights cutting through the sheets of water. Go ahead, man. I'm staying put. Leo fumbled with the door, practically falling out, and stumbled off toward the field on his side. He vanished into the darkness almost immediately. The rain was that thick, swallowing everything beyond 10 feet. I sat there with the engine idling, the defroster blasting, wiping fog from the windows. The storm was relentless, wind rocking the car slightly, thunder cracking closer now. I checked my phone, no signal out here, of course. Figures. A minute or two passed, and I remembered I had an umbrella in the back seat from last week's rain. Figured I might as well use the stop too, since we were already delayed. I grabbed it, locked the doors out of habit. City kid instincts die hard, even in the sticks, and stepped out into the opposite field. The rain pelted me like needles, even under the umbrella, soaking my jeans in seconds. I walked about 20 yards out, far enough for privacy, the ground squelching under my sneakers. As I stood there, relieving myself, I heard something, a rustle, like leaves or stalks moving, back near the car. It wasn't the wind. This was sharper, more deliberate. I glanced over my shoulder, but the darkness and rain made it impossible to see much. The car's headlights were hazy beacons, but nothing stood out. I shook it off. Probably just an animal like a deer or raccoon spooked by the storm. Still, a little chill ran down my spine. Looking back, I should have trusted that gut feeling right then. I finished up and headed back, shaking water off the umbrella. Leo wasn't by the car yet, which annoyed me. Come on, dude, I muttered, unlocking the door and sliding in. I waited, engine running, headlights piercing the rain. A few minutes ticked by, 3, then 5. My irritation built. This quick stop was turning our 20-minute drive into a slog, and I had work early. I was about to honk when I caught movement in the side mirror. Someone, sprinting toward the passenger door from the field. It was Leo, but even through the blur of rain, I could see his face. Pale, eyes wide, mouth open in panic. He yanked the door open, diving in before it was even fully ajar, slamming it shut. "Drive! Go, go, go!" he yelled, voice cracking. "What the hell, man?" I snapped, but his terror hit me like a wave. Without thinking, I threw the car into gear and peeled out, gravel spitting under the tires. The car fishtailed a bit on the wet road, but I straightened it, heart pounding. "What happened? You look like you saw a ghost." Leo was breathing heavy, water dripping from his hair, clothes plastered to him. He glanced back through the rear window, then at me. I thought I saw you out there, in the field. Figured you were messing with me or something, so I followed. But it wasn't you, Jay. It was some guy just standing there, staring. When he turned, I knew it wasn't you." I gripped the wheel tighter, the rain still hammering down. "What do you mean, some guy? Like a farmer or something?" Leo shook his head, voice shaky. "No, dude. It was dark, but he was tall, hooded maybe." I called out, thinking it was a joke. But when he looked, his face, I don't know, it just felt wrong. I bolted back. I tried to laugh it off. "You're drunk, man. Probably just imagined it." But my stomach twisted. The rustle I'd heard earlier replayed in my mind. Was someone out there watching us? We drove in tense silence for a minute, the storm raging, when suddenly the car lurched right, pulling hard. A thumping sound, flat tire. "Shit!" I cursed, slowing to a stop on the shoulder again. We were maybe half a mile from the first pull-off, not far, but in this weather it felt exposed. Leo groaned. "Great, now what?" I snapped back. "This is your fault, you idiot. Get out and help." We stepped into the rain, me grabbing the jack and spare from the trunk. The flat was the rear passenger tire, deflated completely. But when I knelt to inspect it, my blood ran cold. Sticking out of the sidewall was a screwdriver, jammed in deep, deliberate, no doubt. Not road debris. Someone had done this. "Leo, look at this." He leaned in, face draining of color. "What the? Who?" We exchanged glances, the implication hitting us. Someone had tampered with the car while we were out. That rustle, the figure Leo saw, it all clicked. We weren't alone out here. Hands shaking from cold and fear, we rushed to change the tire. The rain made everything slick. The lug nuts slipped, the jack wobbled on the gravel. Every flash of lightning lit up the fields like a horror movie set, shadows dancing in the corn. I kept glancing over my shoulder, expecting to see that figure emerging from the darkness. "Hurry up," Leo whispered, voice trembling. "I feel like we're being watched." I nodded, nausea building in my gut. This wasn't some prank. It felt targeted, malicious. Who would do this in the middle of nowhere? And why us? I was tightening the last lug nut, tools scattered in the mud, when it cut through the storm, a scream. Sharp, desperate, unmistakably a woman's. It came from behind us, back toward the fields, piercing the rain like a knife. Leo froze. "Did you hear that?" I nodded, heart slamming. It wasn't Leo's guy. This was female, terrified. "Someone's in trouble," he said, standing. "We gotta go back." But terror gripped me. No way, man. This could be a setup. The tire, the figure. What if it's a trap? He argued. "Dude, that's a person screaming. We can't just leave." I hesitated, guilt twisting with fear. The scream echoed again, fainter, like she was moving away or being dragged. I slammed the trunk, ditching the flat tire on the shoulder. "Get in. We're going." Leo protested, but I floored it, wheel spinning before catching traction. He called 911 as we drove, voice shaky as he explained our location, or what he guessed it was. The operator promised to send someone, but out here that could take forever. The drive home felt eternal, rain blurring the world, my mind racing. At my driveway, we sat in the car, engine off, debating. Leo was furious. "We left her, Jay. What if she's dying?" I countered, "Think about it, the timing. Scream right after the tire? And why not yell when we first stopped? It doesn't add up. Maybe it's a lure, multiple people out there." He suggested the woman might have punctured the tire to get our attention, desperate for help. But that logic crumbled too. Who risks that in a storm? And the figure Leo saw? None of it made sense. The next morning, I called the police station. They said officers searched the area, nothing. No people, no evidence of a struggle. And my discarded tire? Gone. Vanished. Like someone cleaned up. Leo and I haven't talked much since. The guilt eats at him, and me? I drive those roads differently now, windows up, doors locked, even in daylight. I hear echoes of that scream in the rain. Question if we abandoned someone real or fell for something sinister. I know it sounds crazy, but what if it was both? I still can't explain it, and honestly, I'm not sure I want to. Some nights, when thunder rolls, I wonder if she's still out there, waiting.